Hey guys, Kamina the coach here. So the people call and I suppose I have to listen because that's the purpose. I don't know. For me anyways, that's the purpose of a YouTube channel, is to serve the people. This is my way to give back, to serve the community. In case you haven't noticed, there's no like commercials or advertisements on my channel. That's because the channel is purely for you. So the majority of traffic on the channel is for videos that are centered towards work and finding work abroad and all these kind of great things. So this video in particular is about something that will benefit you whether you're stateside or whether you're abroad, and it's about interviewing. And so speaking for someone who has interviewed a lot of people. I've interviewed tons of people, and someone who interviews a lot and likes to interview. So I've just got some tips to help you shine, to help you stand apart from the crowd. And a lot of this stuff to me is common sense stuff, but obviously it's not common sense because I see a lot of people do otherwise. So we'll go to the not so, even these days, even if you're where the interview is or you're in the place where the interview is, a lot of first interviews are online. But let's just go to the least common these days, which is the actual face-to-face interview. So I'm going to specifically aim towards teachers because, well, that's what I do, but this could be for anybody. Guys, if you're interviewing with a panel of people, acknowledge everybody when you walk in the room. Look them in their eye, smile, shake their hand, a good firm handshake. Ladies, don't do this. Don't do this. Open up your hand, fingers wide. I don't mean squeeze their hand off. Palm to their palm, wrap your fingers around their hand and shake their hand. It goes a long ways. Look them in their eyes. If you're extremely shy, remember now, introverted is not shy, right? I'm introverted, but I'm not shy. If you are extremely shy, then look at them, look here, look here. They can't tell the difference, but at least try to look like you're making eye contact, right? As they are speaking to you, as you are answering questions, make sure you make eye contact with everyone in the group. It speaks to your confidence. It lets them know you're engaged. Mostly lets them know that you're confident, which is really important. When you answer their questions, and this is important for all interviews, keep it short. If they want more, then they'll ask you for more, but they have a lot of questions to ask you, so do your best to keep your answers short and concise. Maybe study a list of common interview questions if you're new to this before you go in. But definitely keep it short. If they want more, then they'll ask you for more. Dress for the part. Please don't wear jeans, even if they're very nice jeans. Dress the part. Really coming in smart, clean, pressed clothes. Don't bathe in cologne. A lot of people have sinus issues. Just be clean. Take a shower. Comb your hair. Shave. Brush your teeth. It seems like no-brainer type stuff, but you would be amazed, right? So come in, acknowledge everyone, eye contact, shake their hand, make sure that you're smartly dressed, keep your answers short, and they'll ask you for more. When you're closing, make sure you tell them, so recap why you're a great candidate. So because I have heightened interpersonal skills, I am passionate about education and moving the classroom forward to 21st century learning techniques. I think that I am the best person to fill this position, and I look forward to speaking with you further. Something to that effect, right? Go ahead and recap why you're the best candidate. So let's move to Skype interviews. Things don't change much on Skype. Let's change that. Let's recap that. Things don't change much on Skype. Just because you're on Skype does not give you a lease to wear your pajamas. Just because you're on Skype You cannot wear your pajamas, guys. What are you thinking? The last interview I was involved in, the guy was in his bed and he had this fleece on, and I could see all of his unmade bed. It was a huge turnoff. The last article I read on this, a woman said that in the interview with someone, they could see their unmade bed behind them with dirty clothes all over it. Dress smartly. Your camera should be pointing towards something that is non-distracting. And I just want to show you the difference. Don't put your camera towards, so do you see the glare from these windows? Don't point your camera towards a window. So you want to make sure that your camera is, now we're crooked. You want to make sure that your camera is pointing towards something very neutral, maybe a white wall with not a lot of distractions, without a lot of clutter behind you. It makes a difference, and it makes a very bad impression when the interviewers or the panel can see a mess, a hunking mess behind you. Nobody wants to see that, and it doesn't bode well for you, especially for a job where organization is a very important skill. So be careful of what you're showing on the camera. Go ahead and hook your camera up first and just look at the screen and see what is showing. So here's another one, and kind of funny, and it takes a little bit of getting used to. Make eye contact. Well, don't you feel like I'm looking at you now? How in the world do you make eye contact? So let me show you the difference. This is what happens when you look at the screen. This is me looking at the screen. This is me looking at myself in the screen. So do you get the same kind of feeling like I'm looking at you? Probably not. So this is me looking at the screen, where you actually feel like I'm looking at you, making eye contact with you. Screen, camera. This is me looking at the camera. It's early in the morning still, give me a break. So this is me looking at the camera. Guys, make eye contact. This is a big thing. This is a big thing. It's not the only reason you can see yourself is so that you can look, so you can see the background, so to make sure that you're set up and to make sure that you look good in the camera. Then switch to looking at the camera so that you look like you're making eye contact with the interviewers, right? Again, same things. Keep your answers short. They will ask for more if they want it. Wait. Don't hang up on them. If they want to conclude the interview, make sure you recap why you're the best candidate. And okay, and I look, oh, also, if you are interviewing, this is again for teachers and high tier people, people that will probably go through a second or third interview. Don't ask second and third tier questions in a first tier interview. What do I mean by that? How many sick days do I get? Who's the insurance through? So those aren't the kind of questions that you want to ask in the first interview. The kind of questions that make you seem like an engaged educator would be things like, who would I go to if I had a problem? What is your vision for the future for this department? What do you see as some of the challenges to face you in the academic year to come? And do you have a plan to overcome those? And how do you see my role fitting into the solution for those problems? These are the kind of questions that you want to ask in a first-tier interview, not what time is my lunch break? Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're in my teachers group, Americans of Color Teaching Abroad, we actually have a list of questions that you ask in an overseas interview, which is a lot different from actually interviewing, for a position in the States. And again, if you're interviewing for a top-tier international school, most likely you'll have another interview. You've interviewed probably with your line manager first, and then you'll interview with maybe the principal or then HR. So it's better to ask those second and third tier questions once you talk to HR, because they're probably the ones that have that kind of information. Likely, if you're talking to the principal, they can't give you those kinds of answers anyways, because I interviewed with the principal. A lot of times I've interviewed with the principal, and the principal doesn't know. The principal doesn't know about housing. The principal doesn't know about your days off because they don't fall into the same category as you. They're not a teacher, they're a principal. So anyways, I think I've gone on and on and on enough. So we'll recap really quickly. If you come into a room and there's a panel of people, make